Hello, welcome to SBW Talks. I'm Nila Chakraborty, where strong women have real talks, share real stories, and keep it all the way real. This is a space where we drop the masks, unpack the layers, and speak from the heart. Today, I'm so excited to welcome Arpita Ganguly, an Odissi dancer whose journey beautifully bridges the worlds of art and academia. She holds a degree in engineering, but even before that, she was on the path to a diploma in dance studies until academics momentarily took center stage. Yet her love for Odyssey never dimmed. It remained an unwavering part of her identity. Over the years, she has performed across India and on national stages, bringing the grace and spirit of Odyssey to diverse audiences. Arpita's earnest desire to deepen her connection with the dance form led her to learning Sanskrit to understand the verses which gave Odyssey its lyrical depth. Driven by a commitment to see Odyssey dance flourish within the local community and across the United States, she began teaching the art form. In the subsequent years, this passion took shape as Navakriti, an institution dedicated to Odissi dance and performing arts. Though Arpita is primarily an Odissi dancer, her interest expands to other forms of Indian classical, folk, ballroom, and Latin dance styles. Welcome, Arpita. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you, Neela. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me over on this, on your podcast. And not just for sharing my journey, but also thanks for providing this platform to listen into the various journeys that you have shared so far of various ranges, I would say, from new moms to career networking to visual arts. They're so inspiring, all of them.
Thank you, and we're happy to have you. I'm sure you'll be inspiring a lot of other dancers. What first drew you to Odyssey, and what made you fall in love with it deeply enough to build it around your life?
So, I would take this moment to start by introducing Odissi dance as an art form first. For our viewers who do not know, so Odissi is one of the 8 Indian classical dance forms. It originated in the eastern part of India, in the state of Odisha. In the temples of Odisha, it started, and historians say that it was about 2000 years back that this had its origin. But over the years, it has adapted to the changing times, and we have the shape that it has taken today. We see that now. So that is all about Odissi. But yeah, for about my interest in Odissi, it was initially definitely not my interest. It was my parents who chose that for me and my older sister. Both of them were very culturally inclined, and they wanted both of us sisters to learn different art forms. So, and since we were in Odisha, I think Odissi must have been the natural choice for them. And my older sister used to go, and then when I grew up a little bit, maybe 5 or 6 years old, maybe I must have been, so they wanted me to go too for the classes. But I was the kind of kid who would rather stay back at home with my mom rather than, going out and sweating it out in the dance classes. So I wasn't at all ready to go out of house and go anywhere, leave about dance class. But they were very persistent with their demand. No, you need to take the lessons. And I'm so grateful to them that they did that, because initially I wasn't willing, but then I agreed, saying that, I would be, I'll go, but then I would stand in the last row, farthest from the teacher's eyes. And but I think what next happened is I made friends there, and that kept me going. So it wasn't still dance yet. So, our classes used to be long hours, about on the weekends, 4 hours on Saturday, and again hours on Sunday. Not that we were dancing throughout. So we would have breaks. We would watch our seniors dance, or we would get breaks and just step out. I think that stepping out, chit chatting, that is the time I bonded with the other young dancers there. And that kept me going for the next many, many years until I grew up, my skills developed. I'm sure I got a lot of support, not only from my dance school teachers, my parents, but also from my teachers back in my academic school. So there were opportunities that I got representing my school for competitions and all for dance. I think that played a big role in encouraging me to continue this form. And so yes, I kept going until 10th grade. Yeah, 10th grade was the one, back in India, we have this crucial exam. Many of them who are from Indian background might know that those exams are very critical for your next step, for going to college. So I thought, I loved academics equally well. So I thought, let me take a break from my dance and focus on the test that is coming up. And it was entirely my decision, not that my parents wanted me to do or anything. So I took the break, and the last day I remember, that was the last day of my dance class before the break. I went back home and I started weeping. That suddenly I realized, oh man, I won't be able to take dance lessons or practice dance maybe for the next several months. I feel that's when I realized that how much I had got attached to the art form. Yes, so next for some years, dance had taken a back seat, but I always kept missing dance a lot.
That was your
I know.
true passion, was the
Yes,
dance.
and I think that's what happens when you are, when you're taken away from something. That's when you realize the importance of it. I think that's what happened with me too, and so that's what happened, and it kept going until on and off. I used to dance, but not that full-fledged routine every week, going to the lessons. That didn't happen. But then later on, several years later, when I came to US with my corporate job, and when I came to Minneapolis, the first thing I started looking for was a dance teacher, Odissi dance teacher, where I could continue to practice. But at that time, I could not find anyone here. So then there was a community event. I performed an Odissi small dance piece, and it was well received by the audience, and several parents approached me if I was willing to teach. I always had this in my mind that, I will stay connected with dance, whatever be it through my own practice or be it, I was also interested in opening a school at some point of time, but I did not know when. So at that time when I was approached, I wasn't in that mindset immediately. But then after the next performance, I was more ready. And that is how my process of teaching dance started. And it's been 10 years since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
So
dance is almost like your life. After your career, having a family, it's almost having a second life.
yes, yes, definitely, definitely, because that is what I real, and it took me some time to realize it, of course, that what kind of connection I have. It took me some time to realize that. And so after that, it has just kept going with lot of support from the parents, from my family, from the community. I've been able to continue it, and I'm grateful for that. And gradually we moved to a bigger space so that I could have a dedicated space for my students and myself to devote to the art form. And that is where I'm sitting right now. So it's been nice. Earlier, I used to go by the name Twin Cities Odissi. Then um, gradually, we are now at Navakriti. It has become more formalized. And with my guru from India visiting us yearly for master workshops. And then, even when I started the dance, teaching dance, actually, my guru from whom I used to learn during my childhood days. So I took his permission, and he was the one who encouraged me. He said that, yes, you should not only dance, but also you should teach. You can spread that joy, that art form to the next generation, because at that time I didn't see many in the community events. I would not see Odissi dance being performed. So that hurt me really. So yes, that is how getting encouragement from parents, from my own teacher, this has continued so far.
Did you realize that dance would be such a big part of your life?
Initially, I did not, but yes, now I definitely feel so emotionally connected to dance. And if I'm down, that is what uplifts me. Definitely, it plays a very big role in my life.
It improves your mental and physical health because it
Yes,
keeps you fit.
yes, yes, definitely, definitely. I'm sure for all of us, we have something that we can relate to in that way that uplifts us, something that is very close to our heart. And for me, it is dance.
So, after you got your degree in engineering and you started a family, what made you realize I need to keep on dancing and then I need to teach? What made you realize that? Because a lot of people don't realize it and they ignore that feeling.
I think it was mostly driven by the fact that, of course, my love for the dance form, and also because I could not see much of Odissi, especially when I came to Minneapolis, and I could not see in the events I visited, I could not see much of Odissi dance being performed. That was one trigger for me that I should do something. And plus, when I saw the interest that some parents had for their children to learn, and they were actually looking for teachers, and they were looking for some time, but when they found me performing, they immediately came and asked. So I think that's what drove me, and my family, my husband has always been very, very supportive of that. So yeah, he's the one. He said, when initially I was just giving it a thought when my child was very young, whether I should be starting it, whether I can give time for that. He was the one who told me, no, you should just start with it. What makes you, pause and think? So just go ahead with it. So just, create a curriculum. And yes, I do follow a curriculum. I did the groundwork before I actually started teaching.
So it's very important to have a support system because you are a dancer and then you became a teacher. But if you don't have that support system, I don't think you can balance both together.
It would become really difficult unless you have that support system and you have someone in your life who has a similar kind of mindset towards art. So since I have grown up together with my husband, and I, we were classmates, so he has seen me dance for a very very long time. So yeah, it was, I think, for him also it came rather naturally that this has to take this path.
What do you prefer, being the dancer or the teacher?
I actually prefer, I like both, because when I'm with my students, I just feel I'm giving shape to something, I'm molding something, and each student's body is so different. So you work on them differently, and then when you see the desired result, you feel so happy about it that okay, this is what I was looking for. So with the challenges, the extra challenges I get, I think that's the scope for me also to learn. When I teach, it's not just teaching, it's also learning.
How many students do you have? I was watching your Instagram and you did a performance, and they're young kids too, and adults, and they're in sync.
Yeah, yeah. I make sure that when you're on stage, I'm particular about that when you're on stage, then you have to be stage ready. And I have them practice quite a lot. That it's not that you are a young child. I don't give that what I would say. I don't give them that liberty that because you're young and so you can just take this on stage. No, you have to reach a certain point, and you're ready for stage, then you go on stage. So they do understand that expectation from me, and they practice and before they go on stage. So when you see that sync on stage, that's quite a lot of effort that they have put in get them to that level.
And I think this art form, dance of any type, it forms like discipline. What other benefits would you say this art brings?
Yes, that is very true. So I think dance is it's not just footwork or hand movement or eyes. It's a very holistic learning. Indian dance, when we teach Indian dance, the student absorbs it completely only if they can relate themselves to the culture. It could be various ways, right? You could read books, you could go to events. Here in Minneapolis, we have so many community events. So I think if students take that opportunity to go to those events and learn from there. So unless we know the culture, we understand the culture, it's difficult to get the dance completely. It's not just a classroom thing of 1 hour, 2 hours, and then you go out and you are totally not able to relate to what you did. Then it's not enjoyable for you, first of all, and then you don't get it completely. So I encourage them as much as I can do in the class itself. I tell them some history related to the dance or something about Indian culture, which may not be even directly related to the dance I'm teaching, but I try to give them that, and I encourage them. I would encourage even the parents of any dance form, I would say that give them that exposure of connecting culturally. That helps in the growth of a dancer. And yes, it requires discipline, it requires practice. For my students, I give them homework. You have to, it's not just that 2 hours you did in class and you just go back home and you forget about it the entire week. No, you have to keep your body moving, you have to do your practice, and that's how you can flourish.
And what if you have someone that's American that wants to join your class? What advice would you give someone?
So even for them, I would say, even for people from any background, I would say, because this is an Indian dance, very much rooted to Indian culture. We adapt to the place we are in, but still it is rooted to the Indian culture. So it's important that it applies, the same things apply for the people from any background, children from any background, or adults from any background, that you try to connect yourself to the culture, learn more about the culture, from basically from where does this dance come from where did it start. Like for Odissi, it is the temples. So I know that there are senior dancers because it has spread so much globally. I know that there are senior dancers who visit India they go to the temples, the old historical temples, to see there are beautiful figurines, from where this dance has been got inspiration from. So they go there, they visit the temples. Yes, people who are in that, that area already, the senior dancers, they do that, and that helps them to connect to the dance.
How long have you had your dance studio?
I have my studio in my home. We used to live close by in a different place, but 3 years back, I used to teach there, but 3 years back we moved to this new place, and it was my basement, and then we renovated it to convert it to a studio.
It's and I know I've seen your students and you perform and you're just amazing, so graceful on stage.
Thank you. And it's really good that, in Minnesota, we have seen so much growth for platforms for young children to go and perform. And it's really nice. So, but as a senior performer, I think we need to do more for ourselves across dance forms, I would say. Because for me, I feel that I crave for performing. So I think we should all come together someday. Hopefully that works out and share our art form with each other with the bigger audience. But yes, for the young children, there's a lot of opportunities that have grown gradually in Minnesota for performances. It's been really nice.
Do you think this classical dance form is getting enough recognition among our peers?
I think for Indian classical dance form has a very specific audience. I wouldn't say that. I think it's true for probably for many across different art form. That's what happened, that your taste may vary. And even in India, I feel that it requires a lot more. And now we are here so far away from India. So definitely we need to create more for ourselves, or there should be, I don't know if there are art enthusiasts who can create such platforms and encourage this art form to grow. And it's not just Odissi I'm talking about. I'm talking about even there are other dance forms like even lesser knowns, right? Manipuri, Kshatriya dance. We don't see them here. So I think we need some kind of encouragement and boost up to bring out those here in US. Definitely, it's not getting the desired recognition because a lot of effort goes into when you learn this dance form and you are a dancer. When you see a dancer, senior dancer dancing in front of you, a lot of effort has gone into creating that kind of movement, grace. Yeah, we need to do more.
What's your favorite piece or performance you've done and why?
I don't think there is one favorite piece that I can say. Let me think. No, I wouldn't say there's one favorite piece, but yes, there are some pieces which I really like performing. When I dance, I think the first thing that attracts me is the music. If I choreograph or if I dance, either of it, the music is the one that drives me. So there are some in Odissi, we have something called Pallavi. It is actually very lyrical. You don't have any meaning as such conveying through it, but there are different pallavis set to different ragas in Indian music. And yes, so there are a couple of pallavis that I enjoy performing, and also I like performing abhinayas, expressional dance forms. So last pallavi, one of the pallavis I performed, I enjoyed performing it.
And how do you prepare? Because this is like, it takes a lot of preparation time, but how do you prepare mentally and physically before a big performance?
When I practice, that is, the more I practice, I think that mental preparation comes with it. If I'm not well practiced, I know I don't have that confidence to go on stage, and I know that I feel that myself. But if I'm well practiced, I think in the process of practice, it is not just my physical preparation, but also mentally I get boosted, and I enjoy doing group performances, solo performances, but when you're with someone doing a group performance, it has a different kind of energy to it. And when you're on your own, then, and I feel when I'm in a group performance, I get the energy from the others who are there doing it with me. But when I'm doing it solo, it's all on me. And definitely practice becomes easier because it's all me, and I don't have to consider others' time and all. But then the energy lies only within me.
You are practicing almost daily, or is it every other day, or
Honestly, I should be doing it daily. But I have not been very good at it, I would admit, but I try to do it a couple of days in a week.
And what about you have a big performance coming up and you're just exhausted, tired? What makes you get up and you're like, okay, I have to get up and practice today? How do you emotionally and physically get ready for that?
If there is an event coming up, then yes, I have that on me that, okay, I have to be on stage, I have to perform, I have a responsibility there. So I automatically get that push. On days when I don't have that kind of target, that is the difficult part, pushing myself to something. But when I have that target, it's actually easier that I have a performance coming up, so I have to get that going.
Do you think Odyssey has changed you as an individual?
Actually, since Odissi dance has been in my life through my very young age, so I would say it's always there. It was always there. So without it, I cannot imagine now. I don't know how life would have been, right? Because I never had a phase when it wasn't completely not there. It wasn't there, but yes, there have been phases off and on. That is true. But it was always there. So I don't know how it feels without Odissi being there with me.
It's a part of you.
It's part of me. It's always been a part of me. And the
And you
few
go ahead, go ahead.
and the few times that it wasn't there, or there were some gaps due to my academics mostly, that was when I missed it terribly, terribly.
And you have a daughter, you're teaching her Odyssey, and she's a beautiful dancer too.
She enjoys. The thing is, when I used to practice when she was very young, um, about I think she didn't start walking actually, she was crawling. And I used to practice, so she would move around me, just be there. And then when she started standing, at that time when I used to practice, she would stamp her feet. And also my husband used to play some music for her, classical music. There was one particular music, and she used to be very happy. I think that has an influence on her. Watching me perform from a very young age, that has an influence on her. And she loves dancing. She enjoys performing with her friends. And even in the community performances earlier, what used to happen after I was off the stage, she would want to go on the stage. So when the stage was getting cleaned up, so my husband Sanjay, he would take her on the stage, and she would do her own bit, just Sanjay as her audience. Yeah, so far she has got that environment which helps her with her dance.
Yeah, no. And what message would you want to leave with our listeners about the power of dance?
So yes, I think, for one message is for, I think, for the adults and also for the parents of children who want to learn dance, is the way it happened with me. From my experience, I'm saying this, that because I did not want to go to dance classes because it wasn't easy, that I felt the squats, of course, no one would want to go and sit in squats for hours and practice. So it doesn't come naturally. But my parents knew that I don't know what's going to come out of that. And so I wasn't ready to take the effort. So they kept pushing me. And until I actually started liking it. So I feel I have taken it up as a lesson for myself, because I do that for my child. And I feel that's important, that let your children experience it for a while. Encourage them instead of quitting immediately, that they say, I don't like this thing. For anything, I would say, let them not quit it immediately because they don't know what it is. Or even as an adult, you may want to stick around for a little bit before you actually understand whether you like that art form or anything, only dance. So I would encourage that parents push their children. The other message is, that's more for the audience and for the organizers, that as artists, we put in a lot of effort and rigor into and dedication to create the art form, to practice. So let's respect that, and let's discourage the concept of pay and perform for artists.
Yeah, there's a lot of physical, mental things that go on behind the scenes that, as an audience, we're not aware of.
That is true. Because what happens is, even in India, this concept of, because Indian classical dance, we have to encourage, right, the artist to come up and showcase the art. That is how it is going to live long, because it's our heritage. But some places, when the artists, they're professional artists, so you can't say that you, for your performance, you have to pay and then you get the stage time. That's very discouraging.
Yeah. Where can people watch your performances and follow your school? You have a school where they can follow you.
So I have a website, navakritidance.org. And then I have my Instagram, Navakriti Performing Arts. I'm also on Facebook with my own name, Arpita Ganguly. So these are the places they can find me. My the website has the phone number and the link to the Instagram and Facebook accounts as well.
We're coming to an end. So, do you have any other advice to let our viewers know?
Yeah, I would like to say just keep encouraging the artists and watch us perform. And even if you are into Odissi, go and watch other dance forms. If you're into other dance forms, come and watch Odissi, or, yes, encourage the artists to keep continuing and let this art form grow.
That's very nice. No, I'm so happy that you agreed to be on our podcast. I think you gave a lot of information about dance and Odissi dance. Am I pronouncing this correctly?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Odissi. Yes. From
Yes.
Odisha, Odissi.
Yes. And I've seen her on stage. She's a beautiful dancer. She's just a graceful dancer, I would say, to say the least. And she's beautiful person inside out. So I will have all her information out there, her website, her Instagram. So if you want your child or you want to learn dance, where do you live in Minneapolis?
I'm in Egan.
Egan. Okay, yeah. So
Yes.
we'll have all our information out there. But thank you for coming on, Orpita. It was a delight to have you.
Thank you so much, Neela.
Thanks to our viewers for watching. We'll have all our information out. Remember to subscribe and follow us. Thank you, everyone.